So, I'm here to inquire about the informed consent discussion board. So, the prompt is talking about finding a website that has an informed consent paper that discusses to the client, hey, this is what we're telling you, this is what needs to happen. So, I found a place called um, True North Christian Counseling. And it's their informed consent little documentation here. At the bottom, it even has the client signature and the counselor signature. So it kind of gives it kind of gives a formal introduction of who they are. They're a Christian counseling service, so they talk about what they do, that they have certain God-centered understandings of people, but each one of them has a unique background. So I thought it was cool that they started out with that. And then it gets into the confidentiality. It says confidentiality is an increasingly complex issue. I agree. In most situations, we can only release information about your treatment to others if you sign written authorization form that meets certain legal requirements imposed by HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. And then it says, however, some situations described in the bullet points below require that you provide written advance consent. Your signature on this agreement provides consent for the following situations. So it gives a lot of different bullet points. I won't go through all of them, but it talks about a government agency requesting information for health oversight activities. We may be required to provide it to them, is what they say. So you're saying okay to that. Then it says if you file a complaint or a lawsuit against the company, which is True North, it says it may be necessary to disclose relevant information about you for our defense. And then it says if True North is being compensated for providing treatment to you as a result of your having filed a workers' compensation claim upon request, we will provide information necessary for utilization reviewing purposes. In addition, your insurance company may be talked about or used. Then it gives three more bullet points. So it goes really in depth about the consent, the informed consent, what's necessary, what's not necessary, legal actions that could be taken, insurance that could be called. Then it talks about appointments, payments, emergency accessibility, and so on and so forth. And then it has a signature at the bottom. So that's kind of how the form goes in this sheet or on this document for True North. So I thought it was a good document. I thought it made a lot of sense. I thought that it did a good job of describing a lot of different scenarios. The only one that I didn't see on there was on the ACA Code of Ethics. It's an A2D, and so it says the inability to give consent. So it's talking about a parent or someone who's in charge of an incapacitated adult, a minor, or other persons unable to give voluntary consent. Um, so that person would have to give consent for the other person to get counseling. Um, so that was one of the really only things that I saw, kind of comparing this form to that, to the ACA Code of Ethics. And then we have the Virginia Board, because I'm from Virginia, so I read from that. And let's see real quick where we are. Um, so laws and regulations governing counseling. There is a lot of them. Um, Talks about regulations governing the practice of professional counseling, regulations governing certified rehabilitation providers, and then therapists, marriage and family therapists. So this does a really good job of describing everything um, to specific issues. So I really enjoyed looking at the Virginia board um, and seeing what it had to say about every single scenario. So that was really good. I think that's pretty much it for the discussion board. As an overall reaction, I thought that it was great. Like I said, I think they cleared everything up, made sense. Um, was very similar to the Code of Ethics as far as specific informed consent. And yeah, I thought it was great. Thanks.